Testing 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Testing. All right, testing. Let's see if we're working yet. Are we working? All right, looks like we're working. Welcome in, everyone. July 1st. July 1st. Welcome to everyone. These YouTube streets been active, right? It's been very busy. Something else, I tell you, it's hard to keep up, but yeah, I'm not going away. So Troll Farm, fuck you. Let's say hello to everyone in the chat before we get too far gone. All right, let's see who we got in here. We have Scott. What's up, Scott? Thank goodness it's Monday. He said nobody ever. Prophet's going live on Monday. He's like Christmas presents on the 4th of July. All right, Scott, what up? All right. Carol, Rebecca Ann. What's up? Yeah, please smash the like and do all that stuff. Hello, Prof Mods in chat. What's up, Icy Cat? All right, Bobby Smith, Rebecca Ann, Carol, and Scott, and everyone else. So, hey, if you're on the Lurker crew, get off the damn Lurker crew. Join the chat. It's happy in there. Look, this is not your bottom of the barrel Delphi. You know, the type that's run by all the locals. All the locals who basically work for the Patties, and they run a troll farm to try to keep people like me, Joe Lewis, and Raffy off the air and make us want to do harm to ourselves and make us try to leave the case. And it's constant stalking, harassment, hate, and doxing. Yeah, Thomas Frost cannot stay off my page. And stupid ass Jennifer cannot keep my fucking son's name out of her mouth. And, you know, all of these assholes, we see you. Cheers. So we're going to talk about some things about the case today. I got to say, I hope you're ready for about a week of hard things to hear, because these hard things to hear need to be heard, because no one says it. Okay, no one says it. For instance, like Keegan Kline, the Dropbox, and so to speak, and the sex trafficking have all these fucking locals freaking the fuck out. That's why all your troll channels are extra hyperactive right now. That's why they hate me. They want me to go away, because I allege that that sex trafficking has everything to do with the Delphi murders, because these girls were sexually active, they were sexually provocative, they were sending nudes around to all the local guys, and hey, the thing about it is that's how you get targeted. Okay, so all these perverts who like these little girls, I mean Libby and Abby, they were enticed into a situation. The situation got out of control, went bad. The girls ended up dead. And now we're fighting all of the ones who were involved, you know, all the locals who consist of the troll farm and all that. So fucking truth hurts. And hey, I don't care what you think about it. The truth hurts. And so we will be talking about Keegan Kline. We will be talking about all the locals. We will be talking about the Dropbox. We will be talking about all the perverts and the sex trafficking that was going on, including Jalen Rain. Yes, she was involved in this whole group. All the family protectors, we will be talking about them, because they're assholes. Because you know what? No one would be talking about the family if the family didn't act suspicious as fuck. Because the family knows exactly what was going on, both in that house, in other houses, and with these murders. And the family has been hiding under the rug for 7 years. and they have an entire troll farm after us, and we know it. Okay, so fuck the family, fuck the trolls, and fuck pretending that none of this ever happened. Okay, so we're pointing the finger at all those locals who were involved in this. All right, we're calling them to the mark. Okay, because you want to talk about my son, you want to talk about my child, you want to talk about me, you want to talk about the mothers, you want to talk about my family. You want to talk about other people's family. You want to threaten to kill us on an ongoing, damn near daily basis. Well, guess what? Keep the threats up, because everything is in the hands of law enforcement. And you don't fucking believe me? Fuck around and find out, because it is. Okay? So keep fucking doing what you're doing, because all you're doing is giving more evidence against yourselves. So you keep on fucking doing it. All right? And I'm talking to you, Jinx, you, CJ, you, Mark Robert, quote unquote, you fucking Greeno, you, CJ, if I hadn't already said that, you fucking Tommy Frost, you, Marv, and all you other fucking assholes who know exactly what you're doing. Okay? Keep it up. Now, you don't want us to talk about the dark web. See, because what happened is I brought up the dark web. What happens? Sleuth brings it up. Okay, Sleuth starts doing shows on it. I start talking about sex trafficking. What happens? Now Greeno wants to do it, okay, and talk about it. Okay, we see what the fuck's happening. It's called narrative control. You see the points that I'm bringing up, and now you want to take control of those narratives. So good luck with that shit, because I'm going to show you about some sex trafficking. I'm going to show you about some dark web transactions, and I'm going to show you about the locals who are covering each other's asses. And these fucking scumbags control the YouTube Delphi narrative. And I hope all of you fucking viewers wake the fuck up and realize what I am saying to you. Okay? 2/3 of the Delphi content creators are locals who are directly connected to these fucking crimes. It's the fucking reason that they do what they do. They've been stalking and harassing us for over a year. And if you think we're bullshitting about that, let me show you the receipts and the evidence. Because guess what? Law enforcement has it too. And when the shit falls down on you assholes, you scumbag fucking dirty locals, you're going to realize that you fucked up. You might have controlled this shit for 7 years, but you ain't controlling it for 7 more. Now, so we will be talking about sex trafficking. We will be talking about all of your criminal behavior. Yes, all of you assholes who go around threatening to kill the couple of us who don't toe your party line, we're going to be exposing you. Okay? Because only you fucking dirty, criminal, scumbag, involved locals would be trying to threaten to kill independent individuals who are trying to only discuss their opinions on this platform. Okay? You came after me like it was the end of the fucking world, and all I did was speak my opinion on this particular crime. And that right there is enough for all you've done. Well, thanks for exposing yourselves. And we know you were there when they were moving those bodies. We know you were there when they were searching. We know you were there and connected and related to the family and related to individuals who were there. And yes, I'm talking about Michaela. I'm talking about the fucking Patties. I'm talking about Greeno and everyone else who was fucking around when these girls died. Now, let's talk about that. What you're looking at here is is something that how would I put it? A particular individual who I do not like very much brought to my attention. Okay. But it's interesting because this right here has some interesting points. And one of them was recently exposed. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, I say you were all involved in the crime and the hiding of it. Why? Because you act like it. All right. So there's one particular part in here that I don't know how we missed for so long, but a particular individual brought this to our attention, and people have talked upon it, and I don't know how many of you have actually heard about this, but we'll talk about it tonight. So this is called the Motion for Discovery Deadline, filed October 2nd, 2023. Long time ago, hasn't it been? Okay. On October 28, 2022, the state filed an information alleging defendant Richard Allen committing 2 acts of felony murder. The jury trial in this cause is set to commence, or was, on January 8, 2024. Yes, before Mark Robert, Robert Fortson, Rick Snay, Ruckus Rocks, and the whole fucking crew set this case on fire with the leaks. So now we're pushed back a year. Throughout this proceeding, the defense has received discovery in the form of external hard drives, thumb drives, disk, and written documentation. The defense has picked up said discovery usually within a day, but no more than 2 weeks of the discovery being made available. Said discovery was provided to by the prosecutor to defense on the following dates, all of which are memorialized in receipts executed by defense or defense representatives. December 7th, December 21st, December 2022. February 13, April 20th, May 23rd, June 27th, 2023. Okay, that gets us quickly through that. Totaling 16 hard drives, 4 flash drives, and 1 disk. Okay, discovery received after first round of depositions. September 8th, September 18th, September 21st, and September 27th, 2023. Pause. Speaking of that, you guys are aware that Chris Long tried to take down Meow the very next day that the Franks memorandum was filed in September. Are you guys aware of that? Well, let's see. She was constantly talking about white supremacists, the Alpha Watson, the Vinlanders, the National Alliance, and the others, including the connection to Flora. And yes, there is a connection. There are multiple connections to Flora on this case. We will be doing a show on Flora to demonstrate some of those connections to you. So whoever is telling you, especially Jinx 13, that there's no connection to Flora is an absolute fucking liar, has an agenda to spread, and is attempting to muddy the waters and change the narrative because they don't want you connecting some of the individuals from Delphi to Flora. Why? Because they are connected, and that solves both cases. And they know it. But yeah, September 18, 2023, immediately you have a vindictive attempt to take down Meow's channel. Why? Because the Franks memorandum exposed some of the individuals tied to this white supremacist grouping of individuals. That's exactly what she had been talking about. So what triggered the attempted takedown of Meow, whose channel was full of talking about these people? Well, it was the Franks memorandum. which is why I extensively covered the Franks memorandum. Now, do I think that Brad Holder killed these girls? No, I don't. I think the defense has it wrong. I actually think the defense has had its head extremely up its ass. And if Brad and and uh, and Andy had any wherewithal whatsoever, they would get the fuck out of Brad Holder's ass and start looking elsewhere. And I could happily point them in the right directions, okay? Because Brad Holder ain't the right direction, in my opinion. Now, Frank's memo dropped. Attempt to take down Meow because she had been talking about Vinlanders, National Alliance, and others. And we know that some of these trolls are connected to these groups. Oh, yes, we do. So, the timing, this is the time frame we're discussing on this page here. Okay, so the state of Indiana has indicated to defense that the more recent discovery it has provided at this time in September of 2023 may contain some discovery that the defense has already received. If that is accurate, from reviewing the state's itemization of newly discovered evidence, the defense believes that very little of the new discovery has been previously discovered. However, the defense has had very little time to compare the new discovery dumps of 14 hard drives, 5 flash drives, 3 disks received on or after September 8th, 2023, with the older discovery received before September 8th, 2023. The defense has conducted the first round of depositions in this matter in early August 2023. The defense anticipates conducting at least 30-40 additional depositions between now and the trial date, but has been reluctant to set additional depositions until it is confident that it has received all of the discovery. And I bet it still hasn't, by the way. This is a whole other subject. And also, it has had a chance to review the vast amounts of newly discovered evidence on or after September 8, 2023. Because what the trolls love to do, they love to pretend that nothing has been wrong, questionable, or potentially criminal on the part of law enforcement in this case. They don't want you to consider the extreme amount of disappeared information in this case, including all of the family cell phones dumps and data, including the 70 days worth of investigation, including all of the recordings of the very important first week of interviews. Okay, they don't want you to hear any of that whatsoever. Okay, but what they want to do, they want to say, no, Richard Allen's car is on the Harvestor video, and that means he killed it. Yeah, well, guess what? He might have been involved. But you think that making Richard Allen the fall guy is going to keep people off of your asses? Yeah, good luck with that, because guess what? That'll never fucking work, okay? At best, you'll get a mistrial like you did with Karen Reed, and then if it ever comes again, it's going to be better put together, because you fuckers are the scum of the earth, okay? You're ignorant, incest derived, criminal, uneducated, overweight, poorly read, not well spoken, fucking antisocial, dysfunctional, evil, despicable fucking human beings. And it's every single one of you who are on this fucking platform from Indiana and the ones who are incentivized from other states. You're disgusting. And when this shit comes down crashing on your heads, I'm going to sit back laughing at you, because your time is limited. Your days are numbered. Anyway, they want to pretend that law enforcement has just done fine with this case, and that Richard Allen is 100% guilty, and he's going to make Delphi go away, and no one will ever look at all the fucking red flags surrounding this case, including the Patties. Okay? We're not in fantasy world here. We know that those girls were overly sexualized. We know what they were doing at their ages, and that attracted predators. Okay? And that predatory behavior ended up in the deaths of these children. Oh, but you don't want to talk about that. No, you don't want to talk about that. You want to talk about my family. Okay? You want to talk about my community post. You want to talk about Noe getting upset. Okay? You want to talk about Joe Lewis cursing. You want to talk about everything except yourselves. And that's what we will talk about. Now, remember I said they tried to take me out down the day the fucking Franks memo landed. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. True story. She told me. Wait until we have her on telling her story about how many strikes that particular disgusting individual connected directly to law enforcement and the white supremacists did to her. September 8th, September 18th, September 21st, and September 27th, 2023. Receipts referenced above contained in part discovery that was generated by the state of Indiana after the defense conducted its initial round of depositions. It was during this initial round of depositions that the state of Indiana and Unified Command learned that the defense was aware of law enforcement's lack of investigation and focus upon certain suspects related to Odinism, as detailed in the defense's recent Franks filing. Okay, so here's what you need to know. Odinism definitely plays a part. Why? Because all these trolls say it doesn't. Okay? That's your first deduction. Okay? That's what you deduce. What else would you deduce? Law enforcement chose not to look at the Odinist and the others who they could definitively tie to the crime scene because they didn't want this case solved. Why? Because most likely it goes right on back up to them. Yes, it does. Remember, I told you many times that it is my speculation that Tobe Lesenby was involved in the situation in which eventually led to these girls' death. Okay, so of course he wouldn't look. Is that why all of this material has disappeared? Okay, so it was during this initial round of depositions that the state of Indiana and Unified Command learned that the defense was aware of law enforcement's lack of investigation and focus upon certain suspects related to Odinism, as detailed in the defense's recent Franks filing. Okay, so what they are saying is that it was in mid-September of 2023, right around the time of the filing of the Franks, that the state of Indiana and Unified Command learned that they were aware, that the defense was aware of this. So what does this mean? Okay, what does this mean, y'all? Let's talk about it. This means that just prior to the Franks filing, the Franks memorandum, just prior, possibly within 10 days prior, so a week and a half prior to the Franks memorandum dropping, the state and the locals became aware that the defense was looking at this aspect. Remember when I said and we read that those patches, the odinous patches, disappeared from the guards at Westville? Remember when those odinous patches disappeared from the guards at Westville within a week of the deposing of Holman? Why? Because Holman got on to the fact that they were onto this angle of Odinism, and he immediately went over to Westville, obviously, or called, but basically directed Westville, you got to remove those Odinist patches. They're onto us. Okay? That's what I think about you, Doughboy Holman. Some of the recent discovery that the state of Indiana has provided is directly related to the Odinism aspects of the case, but was only turned over to defense after the state was aware that defense was cognizant of the Odinism aspects of the case. So what does this mean? They only handed the shit over once they became aware that they knew. So, okay, you knew that we knew. Now we know that you know. Now here you go. Okay. The missing Odinist evidence that was finally turned over to the state of Indiana following the first round of depositions includes some of this. Okay, so it's not limited. This is not all of it. This is not all of the evidence that was missing then turned over. Okay, these are some points that were turned over in the missing Odinist evidence that was turned over. Okay, now each of these is very important, so pay attention to these particular points that were turned over. Remember, these things were turned over after the state and Holman, etc., became aware that they were sniffing out this Odinist info. Multiple interviews of Elvis Fields. Okay. So they had hidden the Elvis Fields, thinking you would never know about Elvis Fields. Well, what did Elvis Fields know that no one else should have known about the crime scene? Okay. Multiple interviews of Johnny Messer. Interview of Rod Abrams. Letter from Rushville investigator Todd Click, which is exculpatory. Oh, remember what they tried to do to Todd Click? Have you guys forgotten what they tried to do to Todd Click? Provides the name of an investigator who believes that the evidence strongly supports that certain suspects in Delphi, Logansport, and Rushville committed the murders. This is a letter that the state of Indiana has had in its possession since May 1st, 2023, but only turned over to the defense once the state of Indiana knew that it was only a matter of time before the defense would learn of its existence. All right. A report roughly 85 pages in length that has been reviewed and contains exculpatory evidence that supports the defense theory of Richard's innocence. Okay, and we call that the Odinist report of Todd Click and Greg Ferenczi, rest in peace. Remember, he was assassinated by Shane Meehan, whose trial will be coming up. Hopefully, God will see fit to allow that trial to take place, just like the Mitch Westerman, before Richard Allen. That way, we benefit from all the disclosure that's going to come through the Shane Meehan trial and the Mitch Westerman trial, because we know that the Mitch Westerman trial will tell us things about these leaks that everyone is trying to keep hidden. Okay, troll farm included. And we know that the Shane Meehan should tell us who directed that hit on Greg Ferenczi. Okay. Remember, my allegation is that we are dealing with a white cartel. We are dealing with a white boy cartel in Indiana, trafficking in women, girls, and methamphetamine. That's what we're dealing with. The dark web is the avenue through which customers are gained. You'll see receipts coming. Shane Evans and Steve Mullen were moved to the prosecutor's office to give them qualified immunity. McClellan may also be involved since everything must go through him and he's related to the Patties. Now, this paragraph 7, not 7, F here was this was the absolute nuclear bomb that dropped on this case in the last week that many may not even be aware of yet. But it says, let's read F very carefully. Several search warrants signed by judges in Marion County pertaining to certain internet and phone records, including at least one unknown person who admitted to killing the girls, even providing details unknown to the general public of the crime scene, such as the fact that he used a knife in a way consistent with the manner of death, and also claiming that he used a gun but never fired it. Who do you think that is? Who do you think that is? Oh, look, it's Thomas Frost. Let me stop the show. Look, it's Thomas Frost. Thomas Frost, sue me, bitch. Sue me, bitch. You're a piece of shit, Thomas Frost. Why are you covering up the murders of Abby and Libby? What do you do on the dark web, you piece of shit? Thomas Frost. I wish you would, Thomas Frost. What a despicable clown he is. Let's get back to F. Okay. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to come in here and divert from the absolute nuclear bomb that got dropped on this case. All right, so several search warrants signed by judges in Marion County pertaining to certain internet and phone records, including at least one person who admitted to killing the girls. No, it was Greeno. This is what I'm getting at. Greeno admitted on his live stream a couple days ago that this is him. Okay? Admitted to killing the girls, even providing detailed evidence unknown to the general public of the crime scene. Tell your lawyer, make some money on someone else, because you're such a piece of shit, Tommy Frost. You're going to be the one owing lots of people the rest of your life. So we'll get rid of you now, Pluto. All right. Tommy Frost can't. He's a thug. He is a thug. Yes, he's a thug. Okay. He allegedly works for the Patties because he's allegedly related to the Patties, and he's going to go on his show and cry about it with another piece of shit later tonight. I guarantee you, or tomorrow. Okay. So back to this. Okay. General, okay, details of the crime scene unknown to the general public, such as the fact that he used a knife in a way consistent with the manner of death, and also claiming that he used a gun but never fired it. Okay? Interesting, isn't it? That's F. Having only had the chance to barely touch the surface of the vast amount of newly discovered evidence the defense has received in the last 24 days, it's hard to know what other exculpatory evidence may be found in the 14 hard drives, 5 thumb drives, 3 disks, as well as the paperwork that was provided since September 8th. Okay. Yeah, he's related to the Patties, allegedly. Okay. Yes, and according to a news article, he was there as quote part of the search, but so was Jinx 13 and Sandy. Of course, Frost is related to the Patties. They are all related because they only marry in the family. Yes, it's the incestuous Indiana troll farm connection. That's what we're dealing with here. It's, I mean, this most despicable group of people you've ever seen. And like I said, 2/3 of the YouTubers, this is a horrendous situation we are dealing with, and no one understands it. Okay, no one understands it. For years, you have not understood that the majority of people covering Delphi on YouTube are actually controlled. Okay, you would never believe it in a million years. That's how big it is. That's how big it is. Let's see. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. You see how the little Pluto couldn't control himself, though? Okay. So let's see. In addition to the vast amounts of newly discovered evidence that has been in the hands of law enforcement and the prosecutor's office for over 10 months, the defense has also received certain new evidence that was only recently produced, including a new audio file in which Brad Holder was interviewed by state police in August 2023, a new audio file in which Patrick Westfall was interviewed in August 2023, a new audio file of Nick Westfall, who was interviewed in August 2023, new audio file in which Jeffrey Turco was interviewed September 2023. This is believed to be the mystery Purdue professor, Jeffrey Turco, described in the Frank's memorandum. The state of Indiana was apparently aware of his existence since September 9th, 2023, but did not inform the defense of his existence until the defense found his name in a September 27th, 2023 evidence dump. I'm telling you, this is hilarious. This is hilarious. I mean, it's hilarious. It's really like some funny shit. It's like every time the prosecution realizes the defense knows something, then it's like, oh yeah, here. Oh yeah. Oh, you know that? Okay, well here then. No, sweet Caroline. I said 2/3. Come on, let's use our thinking caps here. 2/3, not including Little Joe. 2/3, not 100%. Come on, 2/3. Between the vast amounts of old discovery that has been in the hands of law enforcement for over 10 months, including exculpatory evidence that supports the defense theory of Richard's innocence, as well as the Todd Click letter that had been in the hands of the prosecutor since May 1st, 2023, a letter that led to exculpatory evidence that supports the defense theory that Richard is innocent. The defense is concerned there will be a continual drip, drip, drip of evidence, which could be exculpatory in nature, unless a discovery deadline is set by the court. Yeah, well, guess what? I'm absolutely positive of two things. One, you do not have all the discovery. Okay, I'm absolutely positive of that. I'm also absolutely positive that the defense has not informed the public of everything in its possession. Think about it. If there was something that was damning towards Richard Allen, do you think the defense would be broadcasting it to all the YouTubers and the locals and anyone else interested in the case? No. Okay, no way. If there was something damning to Richard Allen, that would be the most hush hush thing imaginable. And so none of us would know a thing about it. You know what I mean? So we do not know if the defense possesses anything that is damning to Richard Allen, because of course they would not say so. You will have to wait till trial for that piece. Okay? And you don't know what Nicholas McClellan is holding on to that could be potentially damning, that he's going to illegally and unethically hold on to the last minute and then drop it in their laps, because of course he can do whatever he wants. Okay? I mean, remember, this is Delphi. Laws don't matter. I mean, you're talking about a team who deleted a vast amount of important information regarding this case. All right. Of course, let's turn the page. Of course, the defense is not seeking a discovery deadline on any exculpatory evidence, as the state of Indiana has a continuing obligation to provide exculpatory evidence to the defense when the state of Indiana is aware that it possesses exculpatory evidence. Yeah, but like I said, laws don't matter. This is Delphi. The defense is requesting that the prosecution produce all evidence in its possession immediately and that the court set a November 1st, 2023 deadline. Okay, all of this is old news, but we're just going back over it, okay? Additionally, based on the state's recent discovery of new evidence, such as the August 2023 Brad Holder Patrick Westphal interviews, it's the defense's view that the following defense team's first round of depositions that the state has reopened its investigation. While defendant Allen takes no exception with the state reopening its investigation, directing its focus on other suspects in this case, defendant Allen deserves that there be some end to offering up new information, as well as parameters as to when and how the state of Indiana should turn over new evidence stemming from the reopened investigation into the Odinism aspects of the case or any other aspect of the case that is still being investigated. All right, so they are hoping that there's not going to be any new discovery dropped in their lap, but I guarantee you there will be. I mean, I'm telling you right now, the state will come up with last minute discovery to drop into the laps. All right. Pursuant to LRO 8 CR 0018, defendant Allen acknowledges his responsibility to seek out full discovery under terms of the standing order on discovery. In this respect and to confirm the local rule, defendant Allen directed to Carroll County Prosecutor Slick Nick McClellan additional requests for discovery on the following dates: letter dated August 22, 2023 and letter dated August 28, 2023. All right. Defendant Allen believes he has received a portion of discovery requested in the above reference letters. However, to the best of defendant Allen's knowledge, he has still not received the following discovery. Okay. That has been requested upon the state and are particularly important as they may very well contain exculpatory evidence that will support the defense theories of who actually murdered the girls. Okay, now here's where they beg. Okay, this is called the begging. This is where they're going to be begging. Brad Holder audio videotaped interview from February 17, 2017, conducted by Pohl and Christopher Goethe. The body of the report concerning the interview states the following. The below is an interview summary. It is not intended to be a verbatim account and does not memorialize all statements made during the interview. Communications by the parties in the interview room were electronically recorded. The recording captures the actual words spoken. The defense requests the recording so that it can utilize all actual words spoken by Brad Holder at his interview. Additionally, in his August 2023 interview, Holder discusses a second interview with law enforcement that took place years ago. The defense requests all reports and recordings of that interview. Okay, so you see they were begging for the Brad Holder interviews. Patrick Westphal interviewed February 19, 2017, by the same law enforcement officers that interviewed Brad Holder 2 days earlier. The defense has not been provided any electric recording of that interview. A report believed to be authored by Professor Jeffrey Turco. Defense has not found this report in any of the newest discovery. Police reports related to Mary Jacobs reporting her brother's confession in person in Carroll County, sometimes in February, March of 2017. And isn't it interesting that Miss Stephanie Thompson was mysteriously unalived, ended up dead? Stephanie and Maya Thompson. Isn't it interesting that she is the one who would have intimate knowledge of not only the contents of the interview of Mary Jacobs or the polygraph, but also the veracity of those particular statements? It's a shame. It's a shame. Like this, like if you think that the Karen Reed was a cover-up of monumental proportions, the likes of which you will not see anytime, any other time, or any time in the near future, you're wrong, because it definitely appears that the Delphi murders investigation is probably one of the biggest cover-ups that you will ever see in your lifetime. I mean, not to mention the Jean-Benet Ramsey, that's a whole other subject. But oh, and then we have the January 6th, and well, Jesus Christ, what is it with law enforcement and basically covering up most high-profile investigations that would potentially tie to the sex and human trafficking? What are the odds? Defendant Allen understands that there will likely exist additional discovery in the form of audio-video recordings surrounding the defendant's detention circumstances, which will continue to be requested and presumably disclosed in the event that this honorable court takes no action of defendant Richard Allen's recent motion for immediate transfer. However, defendant Allen requests the state of Indiana be required to offer up the totality of all other discovery no later than 30 days from the date of this request. Well, here's the deal, okay? We know that, yeah, they did delete, they claim accidentally, okay? We believe that there's far too many coincidences in this case. I mean, remember, in this case, there are more coincidences than you could possibly keep track of. And I mean from the statements of the family, to the statements of the witnesses, to the statements of the law enforcement officers, to the statements of Doug Carter, to the statements of Tobe Lesenby, and to the statements of Jerry Holman, to the statements of Mike Patty, to the statements of Kelsey German, to the statements of all the fucking Troll Farm, and to the statements of Gray Hughes, and of course, the prosecutor. There's so many coincidences in this case that it reaches the point of absolute impossibility. Okay. Absolute impossibility, not absolute immunity. Absolute impossibility. Okay. But no, if you speak the obvious on the Delphi murders case, what happens? What happens? Okay. An entire troll farm comes after you to try to destroy you, to make you be dead. Yes, the entire troll farm. How many could they possibly control? I mean, shit. If this involves judges, lawyers, prosecutors, cops, feds, governors, lieutenant governors, who knows how many elite are involved in this? Societal elite. I mean, they would control a lot of little scumbag piece of shit, uneducated, no job having locals. They would control a large number of locals and have them establish channels here on the social media to control the narrative. They would, and to attack anyone who has the potentiality of exposing them. They would. That's why we're going to talk about Keegan Kline. That's why we're going to talk about the Dropbox connection. That's why we're going to talk about the porn industry, the sex trafficking, the actions of our victims, the drug trafficking, the number of felons, not only in the household, but alleged to be involved in these crimes since day one. I mean, I showed you the list on my community page. If you go and you look at the entire Kokomo crew, the Greg Garrett Kurtz associate, and the Keegan Kline connections, you look at those lists, it's pretty much all felons, just straight down the list. All felons, multiple felons. Okay? Now, if they can control national conspiracies, okay, if they can control the narrative around January 6th, if they can control the narrative around 9/11, if they can control the narrative around the various false flags, school shootings, and all these other incidents that the government has perpetrated, okay, Epstein Island, Ghislaine Maxwell, all the Hollywood elite, if they can control all of those narratives that are huge, don't you think they can control something as small as a little double murder in a little podunk fucking town in Indiana called Delphi? Don't you think it would be very easy for them to control that? I mean, have you not paid attention to the news? I read it recently, not long ago, about the COVID vax in the Philippines thing, where they were paying this they were paying billions of or millions with what now has become at least a billion. Okay, they were paying this media manager to operate an entire troll farm in the Philippines using hundreds and hundreds of social media accounts to perpetrate a certain narrative and to shame and embarrass others, like basically do a whole control over fighting about the COVID vaccine in the Philippines. Okay. Well, that's the thing that has been disclosed. Do you think they would actually disclose anything about that surrounding the elections or surrounding 9/11 or surrounding the various school shootings? No, they're not going to. Those things are classified. They will never disclose that. Okay. Of course, it's going to be something minor like the COVID vax fight with China, blah, blah, blah. But my point is, if they went to the extent of paying $500 million in contracts to a social media management company to go in there and operate an entire troll farm just to take care of the Philippines and China and US vaccine situations, don't you think that they would do the same? And it would be much less costly and much easier to produce with a smaller number of people surrounding the Delphi murders. If the Delphi murders actually ties into people like the governor, the assistant governor, the fucking sheriffs, the fucking ISP leadership, and all of these various individuals, judges, Okay. But I mean, you always look at the family at like with this Colts player now, right? With this guy now that you're referencing. Um, the kid's dead. Okay, there was evidence that the kid had been abused. Now it's most likely that he's dead. What are the parents doing? Absolutely refusing to cooperate. Hello, is that not a big red flag? Okay, parent refusing to cooperate. Is that not a gigantic red flag? It is. It's why I'm upset with Galen. Okay, and I don't want to hear any excuses about it. The point is, if you are not cooperating with the investigation, it's a huge fucking red flag. Okay, and you look at Flora, you look at Delphi, you look at this player, and you look at the Ramseys, and you just look at all across the board. When you have parents who are resistant or colluding, there's always signs. Okay, anyway, uh, where were we? The state of Indiana has indicated that it hasn't been able to locate those things. Yes, because it was all fucking deleted, probably intentionally. All right. Oh, they did give up the Jeffrey Turco info eventually, but at the time of this filing, the trial is in this cause is just over 3 months away. No, more like a year because of the assholes with the fucking leaks. Okay, and we got all the receipts of that, and we know more are coming out with Westerman. Like I keep pressing, we need Westerman to happen before Richard Allen. Um, Defendant Allen understands that there will likely exist additional discovery in the form of audio video surrounding defendant's detention circumstances. Didn't I read that already? Yeah, here we go. Without a firm discovery deadline, it's impossible to expect Allen will be fully prepared for trial. If not impossible, it's difficult, if not impossible, to conduct depositions and engage in pretrial hearings, such as suppression hearings, without the totality of all discovery in this cause being provided to the defense. Well, guess what, guys? You're fucked because I'm absolutely positive you don't have all the discovery yet because McClellan plays dirty and he's definitely going to play dirty with you. Trial Rule 26B provides that the defense may obtain discovery regarding any matter not privileged, which is relevant to the subject matter involved in the pending action, whether it relates to the claim or defense of a party seeking discovery or the claim or defense of any other party, including existence, description, nature, custody, condition, or location of any books, documents, or other tangible things, and the identity and location of persons having knowledge of any discoverable matter. This investigation has been ongoing for more than 6 years. Again, with the understanding that there may be some additional discovery related to defendant Allen's detention circumstances, there's no reason why the defense should be receiving discovery that has been in the hands of law enforcement and which continues to be quite voluminous at this late stage in the proceedings. The need for a discovery deadline exists. Okay. And we all agree with that, right? Okay, well, that's a huge red flag. Subaru is one of the red flags in the case. I mean, let's be real here. Subaru is one of the red flags. So is Packers, right? So is Shane Evans. So is Tobe Lesenby. So is the family's behavior over all these years, inconsistent statements, and the whole nine, right? So is the Ron Logan warrant. Remember, approximately 1 p.m. Okay. So is Tina Rodell's daughter, Megan Allen's activities and the timeline involved in that. Remember, Julie Melvin made it clear that when she looked at those messages and calls, that they were in the 2 a.m. time frame on the 13th. Now, let me ask you guys a question. What if these girls were killed at the 2 a.m. time frame on the 13th? And for all these years, they've lied. They made it 2 p.m., but it was 2 a.m. I mean, does anyone really believe that those girls were killed where they lay? Does anyone actually believe that? I don't believe it. I don't believe that they were killed at the time that is believed in the Gray Hughes narrative. You got Sleuth Intuition who has to Photoshop Richard Allen's face onto hypothetical situations to make him guilty. You got the entire troll farm trying to separate Flora from Delphi, right? Trying to push a certain narrative, a certain agenda, trying to shut down everyone who speaks any way sort of against that. So yeah, Sleuth gets a pass, Gray Hughes gets a pass. Anyone else who doesn't really think much, even Harvey Carroll gets a pass. Everyone gets a fucking pass. But if you're talking about sex trafficking, methamphetamine, dirty ass locals, uh, felons in the family, if you're talking about anything like that, you're done. You're done. They will find your children. They will find your family. They will find your employers. They will make your life a living hell and be literally obsessed day and night with you because you are a threat to their very existence. And we know that. We know that's why you do what you do. Flashing the guns, stalking, harassing, going after family. You've tried everything. You literally have tried everything. Troll Farm manufactures fake evidence while Baldwin and Rozzi have to find actual hidden evidence already collected. Well, yeah, half of it's been destroyed already. Like I said, what are the odds? Like, do you guys not think that you would need all of the family's forensic digital data? Like, who doesn't believe that? Like, would you not want to look? I mean, look at Karen Reed, right? They even had Proctor's personal text messages. Okay, they had Proctor's. So they had the lead investigators personal text messages because they had the right to all of that. They had to confirm like what was he saying behind the scenes to who and what, and was there a conspiracy. Now, how could you do this in Delphi without the families? Would not that be necessary? Did you patch the wall and repaint the bedroom? Was she pushed into the wall? Was Libby like, was there a struggle? Did Libby end up in that wall and the wall had to be patched and painted over? I mean, I don't know. Why would Elvis not be a prime suspect? Did he or did he not know information about the crime scene? Who else did? Who else did? Anyway, but you see, they want to come in here, but what they'll love to do, come in here and sidetrack the conversation because, boy, you're hitting something sensitive here. We're going to act all crazy. I don't like talking about Delphi. I really don't. I hate talking about it. I've said that before. I absolutely fucking hate talking about it. Um, and I actually have a plan. Okay, I have a plan. So my plan here is to get to show number 100. This is show 96. Okay, my plan is to get to show 100, and that's 100 days of my life I can never get back. It's a year of harassment and abuse and death threats and absolute fucking maniacs. I mean, it's a local inbred meth head, fat ass, uh, uneducated, inbred, toothless um, ignoramuses who are either related to the family or somehow involved in this crime that want to constantly be a fucking gnat in my ear that is just absolutely unbearable. I mean, I just can't even take it. But you guys would be surprised to know how many of these people are involved in the sex trafficking and the sex industry. Okay, so we got the sex industry, sex workers. We got girls on OnlyFans. Okay, how many of these girls involved both in the Delphi witnesses and in the online community around the Delphi murders? What's your guess? How many are on OnlyFans? Okay, how many sell themselves as a living? Because we got sex workers surrounding this case. See, this is something that's been pissing me off, and I haven't said anything about it. And you really got to start to think here. You have sex workers surrounding this case like wolves, like a pack of wolves. Why is it? Why is it? Okay, I'll tell you fucking why. Because this crime involves the sex trafficking trade. So you have sex workers come out of the woodwork to involve themselves in this case. You had sex workers involved in a situation that I believe led to the deaths of these girls. But we're not supposed to know about that, right? We're not supposed to know about the girls on OnlyFans who we found. We're not supposed to know about the girls on the internet that are part of this whole uh, sex work thing and how it crosses state lines. We're not supposed to know about that, and we're not supposed to think or assume that this whole crime might be tied into that somehow. I'm going to read something just before we go because I didn't mean to stay long. I want to go soon, but um, I read this today, and I know that. All right, so oh man, I gotta find it. Is this it? Okay. I read this today just out of curiosity, and I know that many of you will already know this, and it's just interesting. But let's see. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This is what I'm hinting at. Okay. This is what I'm getting at. This is what I'm getting at. All right. All right. So, this is called, well, this is heathens. All my friends are heathens. Take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know half of the abuse. All my friends are heathens. Take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know half of the abuse. Welcome to the room of people who have rooms of people that they loved one day docked away. Just because we check the guns at the door doesn't mean our brains will change from hand grenades. You'll never know the psychopath sitting next to you. You'll never know the murderer sitting next to you. You'll think, how'd I get here sitting next to you? But after all I've said, please don't forget, all my friends are heathens. Take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know half of the abuse. We don't deal with outsiders very well. They say newcomers have a certain smell. You have trust issues, not to mention they say they can smell your intentions. You never know the freak show sitting next to you. You'll have some weird people sitting next to you. You'll think, how did I get here sitting next to you? But after all I've said, please don't forget, all my friends are heathens. Take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know half of the abuse. Why'd you come? You knew you should have stayed. I tried to warn you just to stay away. And now they're outside ready to bust. It looks like you might be one of us. All my friends are heathens. Take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please, all my friends are heathens. Take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Yeah, yeah. The song haunts me since Kelsey introduced it to the narrative with full intent. She did that. This is what Kelsey said, right? We don't know if it's true or not. We don't know if it's true. This is what she said. It's in a Suicide Squad movie at the end, I believe. Well, the song says a lot. Yeah, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Now here's another thing though. So it's now could this mean something? Who knows? Okay. Heathens is a one percenter motorcycle club believed to have been founded by Danny Sawgrass Decker and Associates in 2013. They are sometimes referred to as the Heathens Nomads. The club discussed in this article should not be confused with the Heathens Motorcycle Family, who were founded in California. Clubs are not known to be connected in any way other than by the use of the Heathens name. Heathens Motorcycle Club was founded by Danny Leroy Sawgrass Decker, a former member of the Outlaws. A large number of the Heathens members are known to have been previously been members of other outlaw clubs, most notably members of the Outlaws and Black Pistons, some of whom have been put out bad by their original clubs. Some of the members of the club have stated family first, job second, club third. This is very different of a view than taken by the majority of other outlaw clubs, where the focus on the club is a very strong priority. The Heathens state that they are setting a new way for outlaw clubs, setting new priorities with a strong work ethic, that they should not be bound by traditional rules of outlaw motorcycle clubs. Okay. February 1st, 2014, there's a fight between members of the Heathens Motorcycle Club and Outlaws at the Easy Riders show in Nashville. Reportedly, around 15 members of the Outlaws joined the brawl against two Heathens members who were believed to have their families with the show at them. An old lady of one of the Heathens was also involved in the fight, believed to have been body slammed. An Outlaws member had part of his ear bitten off in the scuffle. The fight started over members of the Heathens wearing a shirt supporting a jailed brother who was an ex-Outlaws member. The Outlaws took offense at the shirt and they were requesting it be removed. July 25th, 2014, a fight breaks out at an Applebee's in Athens, Tennessee between members of the Heathens and Widowmakers just before midnight. Shortly after, there's a related shooting at the Kangaroo convenience store where the Heathens are believed to have fired shots from a Chevy Tahoe at members of the Outlaws. Outlaws members Steve Kirkland and Patrick Petty are injured. Okay. Heathens' enemies are Outlaws and Widowmakers, and allies, no ally information available. So who knows how accurate that particular or up to date that particular information is. So family first, job second, club third. As a man, you should prioritize the people you love, then you should prioritize your job to support your life and family. Motorcycle club is there to provide help when needed. Death is forever. Avoid putting yourself in a position to get killed, and only kill when it's necessary. Respect the patch, show pride and dignity. If you're a patch member, every member's attitude reflects the club as a whole. Be honest, there's no respect in lying to your brothers. Be your own person. The club exists as a tool for each member to benefit from. We help each other, so don't throw away your own personal beliefs to earn the respect of others. Women, you will not hit a woman unless attacked. You only kill a woman if under fire or instructed to do so. And even if a woman is a member of an enemy faction, you must treat her with a higher level of respect than her male counterparts. However, women will not be patched into the gang. Old ladies can be with the motorcycle club when not on a job or in a meeting. Okay. Anyway, I am not alleging that the Heathens have anything to do with it. However, there's an interesting connection with the Thor's hammer. Okay, so you can take a look at that, but I don't know. I just think that it's really bothersome, the whole thing. I don't know where it comes from, other than Kelsey's mouth. Um, okay. I always thought introducing that song into the narrative had multiple meanings and intentions. Could be. That was also the song on Murder Mystery video game as well. Five Nights at Freddy's song also. What's up, EOA? About a month ago, someone exploded something outside my window, but they didn't hang around. Cameras did, though. Oh, you got them on camera? Indiana is a crossroads that lead to several bigger cities, but to mention it, it's the agricultural, technological, pharmacological, biological hub, as well as a huge U.S. naval base. Yeah, that song is. I mean, I sort of take it at face value. You know, if you go back to the lyrics, let's see. Okay, just go back to the lyrics real quick. Let's do that before we get out of here. Did I already close it? Let's see. Oh no, I didn't. Okay. Welcome to the room of people who have rooms of people that they loved one day docked away. Just because we check the guns at the door doesn't mean our brains will change from hand grenades. You never know the psychopath sitting next to you. You'll never know the murderer sitting next to you. You'll think, how did I get here sitting next to you? But after all I've said, please don't forget, all my friends are heathens. Take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know half of the abuse. Delphi gives the same energy as Hawkins County, Tennessee, where Summer Wells was trafficked by her parents. Well, we have some big things on the horizon. There's things that I'm not really ready to talk about until I produce the community post. Um, I mean, I really don't know how to. I would say I would like you all to really focus on some things on the community page, such as the Ted Bear, Warren Asher, Delphi Photo Guy, Aaliyah, Sultry DVDs, uh, Tampa, Indianapolis, Philadelphia. All that stuff. Okay. Uh, all that stuff ties directly into the porn industry. And we know that the porn industry ties directly into trafficking in many cases. And I think a lot of that information, you can find things that are on the web still at this point in time that have not been totally erased, although a lot of information has been disappeared from the internet. But thankfully, a lot was documented before it was disappeared in the past 7 years. But in the time period of the Delphi murders, there was a lot going on with this stuff that I just referenced. And I would like you all to really take a close look at it. And there will be updates on it. Okay. All the players of this in this investigation are beholden to the community for their work, their family, their social life. Proud of Julie Melvin and Noe for being upright. They are not pawns. Yeah, a couple of the few. There are only few. That's what I'm hitting at. There are only few out of all the locals. There are only a few who have come out as gems. Okay, straightforward, upright, transparent, honest, well-meaning. Okay. Um, anyhow, thank you all for being here. I appreciate the visit. It was a nice visit. I'm sure there will be plenty of consternation almost immediately. Remember, I am the bad guy. They have turned Noe and I. So the whole thing is Prox and Noe, Prof and Noe are the two worst people in the Delphi community. It's all Prof and Noe's fault. Everything is Prof and Noe's fault. Even though we've been attacked relentlessly for a year, we've documented all of it. We've shared only 10% of it. Even though we are the worst thing in this community, and they've tried to make us pay dearly. And right. Anyhow, CPS is another avenue. Dig into the weirdness post. Yes, please do so. Please check into the Delphi weird shit post. There will be more I'm working on now, but all the weird shit posts, they're difficult. Okay. Um, it's a challenging format. You know, it'd be much easier to do those on a video, but on the community post, it's kind of a limited amount of information you can put in a single community post. But check it out. Thank you, Sunflower Soul. Thank you for being here too. Um, Shay says I can vouch for Cromley. Yeah, I like Cromley. So let's see. My only beef with Julie Melvin is her story about Cody's parents. Well, I haven't asked Julie about Cody's parents yet, but I'll talk to Julie. I love Prof and Noe. Well, we love you. Okay, so yo, well, what's happening is probably going to be the end of Delphi live streams because the live streams are a pain in my ass. We don't get enough support, and there's not much happening with the live streams. You know, I mean, it's we're waiting until what is it, October, and that may get pushed back to November, December. We got a long time to go to wait for Richard Allen's trial if it ever happens. Good night at 11:11. Yeah, 11:11, y'all. So good night, and I'll see you guys later. And remember, hug your kids, hug your wife, but whatever you do, don't watch the Troll Farm. They're Satanists. They're evil. They're disgusting. And they love their family for real. Okay. Good night, all. Good night. Good night, Frenchie, Noe, Sandy D, Swade Smith. Um, let's see, Lisa. Hey, welcome, Phyllis Lynn. I'm new here and don't want you to go. Well, hello, Phyllis. Okay, Rebecca Cromley. Thanks for joining, Phyllis, and please just keep up with the channel. Go read the community post and leave some comments around the channel. And oh yeah, everyone on replay. Don't worry if it's a replay, you missed the live. You can still join the conversation in the comment section. Just say hi to us because we love the comments. And we also love the support. So if you want to support the channel, check out our support pathways. You know what they are: super chats and the merchandise and the Cash App and all the various ways to support the channel, as well as just hitting like. So thanks. And on the replay, leave some comments. So Frenchie6290, Noe Amos, thank you for being here. Critelli Designs, Lisa, Carol, Scott was here, Bobby Smith, Fur Baby Daddy, Iva Poffis, Sunflower Soul. Who else did I miss? Four Pits. Yeah, Four Pits. What's up, Four Pits? Sandy D. I might have said you or not. Nancy Drew 101. It's a mofo UFO, bro. All right. And everyone who's here much, much earlier, I'm not going to scroll back too much. Oh, Mike Cunningham was here. What's up, Mike? Sunflower Soul. So all of you who were here much earlier, if you're still sticking around but just quiet, thanks for being here earlier. Anyway, good to see all of you. And some of you will be catching this on replay, so good to see you on the replay. Don't support the chaos agents. you.